And to our first story, all leaders and Christians have been called to sacrifice a little in all their endeavors to ensure the survival of mankind. They've been urged to seek the face of God if they are to find solutions to the current economic challenges.
The leadership of the country has been asked to emulate Christ by sacrificing in the nation's bid to find solution to the current financial woes.
So in case you are in authority, don't think about yourself. It's not how many money, how many cars you have that matters, but a living legacy. The question is, after your demise as a politician, what will be your legacy? Jesus, among other things, also his death shows us the sacrificial attitude he portrayed to us. He died willingly. Jesus was not murdered. He was not assassinated. According to John 10, he said that I gave my life and I take it back. And so Jesus gave willingly his life to us. Those of us who are leaders, especially church, we need to think our followers. This part of the world, some leaders, they think about themselves. But leadership is not about ourselves, it's about the people.
According to the men of God, the judgment debt is one typical example that could have been avoided.
And if everybody is living by these tenets, nobody will cheat his brother or sister. Nobody will do some fraudulent means like we are seeing today through the judgment debts and everything. So my call to every Christian today is that as we celebrate the supreme sacrifice Jesus made and the consequences of that sacrifice for us today, we should also know that we have been called upon by Christ to sacrifice.
Meanwhile, Christians use the day to celebrate the crucifixion of Jesus Christ amid singing and dancing. It was no different at the Peniel Presby Church. On Sunday, the resurrection of Christ will be reenacted.
The Greater Accra Regional Police Command is urging all Ghanaians, especially those traveling for the Easter festivities, to be moderate in their celebrations. Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer DSP Freeman Tete said criminals have become very sophisticated in their modus operandi and warned the public not to drink, drive and leave their homes completely empty.
Residents, according to the police PRO, must be safety and security conscious by ensuring all gates and doors to their residences or houses are properly secured before they leave for church programs and travels.
People believe in their homes, but at the end of the day, we want to entreat them to leave at least one or two persons in the house at a particular point in time, so that at every time the criminal will know that homes are occupied. This home is not empty, because the armed robbers, so what they are doing now is to break in the absence of people. So when they realize that there are people at home, they don't try it.
Parents are also advised not to hand over their car keys to their wards or leave them at places that are easily accessible.
So we want people not to leave their valuables in their car, because that is a new trick criminals are adopting. Daring, pretend as if they can even go and hide in your house at a corner somewhere around your gate. Immediately you enter the house to pick one or two items, they will quickly smash your car. And also when you go to the beach, make sure you check yourself where you park your car. There should always be security.
The police are also warning residents against drunk driving. DSP Freeman Tete also had a special advice for the ladies.
Our ladies, this is the time that a few bad nuts take advantage and commit all manner of sexual offenses. So your drink can be laced with a substance that can drowse you for the person to take advantage of you. So check where you are going. You should endeavor to walk in pairs, and don't overdrink yourself. Don't over-excite yourself for the criminal or the bad guys to take advantage of you.
The police, he noted, have meanwhile intensified its day and night patrols, whilst beefing up its community policing team to ensure an incident-free Easter festivities.
And still on Easter security, the Tema Regional Police Command has assured residents of utmost security during and after the Easter festivities. According to Public Relations Officer ASP Olivia Texan, the command has stepped up its operations and deployed enough personnel to drastically reduce the crime in the area.
Explained that Tema and Ashaiman, which are the two most densely populated areas, have been zoned into sectors for effective mobile and foot patrols to ensure that the combined security forces stamped its authority in the area to reduce crime.
Our visibility patrol team are also positioned at vantage points. They are also there to augment the strength of the police. The MTTU officers are also deployed in town trying to manage traffic situation, and we have senior officers who have also been deployed to monitor the activities of our patrol team, making sure that wherever they are posted to, they go there and do just what the command expects from them.
The Tema metropolis in recent times has come under a lot of attack, notably serial killings, which has thrown most residents into a state of fear and panic. ASP Olivia Texan, however, assured residents of ample security and protection. She also encouraged residents to form community watchdogs to combat crime in the area.
I would entreat the people of Tema to be patient with us. We appreciate their concerns. Feedback from them would help us to intensify our operational strategies, and we are also asking them to support us in terms of information. We have put in place some measures, because it's borders on security. It is not too good for us to put it out there because the criminals are fast solved. We would rather call on the public when we get to their doors, when we get to their areas, and we call on them to come for us to have educational programs. They should appreciate that fact and come, so that together we would fight this menace.
She noted police visibility, including plainclothes policemen, have been deployed to areas where people will be gathering to make merry during the festivity.
Away from Accra, the Eastern Regional Branch of the National Road Safety Commission has launched a pedestrian empowerment campaign. This, they say, is to enable passengers speak up on instances of misconduct by drivers, especially during the Easter period. Correspondent Albert Sori filed this report from Bolgatanga.
In Ghana, road traffic crashes are responsible for not less than 6 deaths a day and at least 2,000 a year. Several thousands of people are left injured and incapacitated through road accidents. About 21% of road accident victims are occupants of public vehicles, with 43% being pedestrians, often knocked down by vehicles. The pedestrian empowerment campaign under the theme "Passengers Speak Up, Don't Get Killed on the Road" is to ensure the reduction in the number of fatalities and road traffic deaths resulting from the unwillingness of passengers to call drivers to order. The event was organized at the main lorry park of Bolgatanga to enable drivers and passengers who were about traveling to take part. The Deputy Upper East Regional Police Commander ACP John Nkansa and Deputy Upper East Regional Minister Daniel Syme graced the occasion. Addressing passengers, drivers and major stakeholders in road safety, Upper East Regional Manager of the National Road Safety Commission, Alhaji Atilado Mohammed, said road traffic deaths and injuries involving passengers should be of concern to all.
That the number of commercial bus occupants dying on our roads has been rising in recent years. For a figure of 325 deaths in 2010, it has risen to 432 deaths in 2012. This is unfortunate on this part of our country.
Upper East Regional Commander of Motor Traffic and Transport Department, ASP Daniel Kwaute, educated passengers on their rights and responsibilities.
you do not engage the driver when the vehicle is in motion, because the driver may be so in tune to the conversation that he may not concentrate on the driving. And when something happens, all of us are involved. Most of the crashes on our roads don't only come from the drivers, some come from we, the passengers, as well.
Deputy Upper East Regional Minister Daniel Syme, who expressed worry about the fatality rate in the country as a result of road crashes, called on the general public to be extra vigilant when traveling to various places for Easter festivities.
In Ghana, road traffic crashes are responsible for not less than 6 deaths a day. Every day, as you are in Bolga here, by the time you go to sleep, just know that at least one person has died somewhere on the earth of Ghana because of road accidents. And at least 2,000 a year, leaving several injured, several with amputated legs, several with amputated arms, several with big sores, likely to grow into chronic sores.
Albert Sori filed this report from Bolgatanga in the Upper East region.
And a little over a month since the Senchi Ferry site experienced choking vehicular traffic, a similar traffic congestion situation has begun building up there. As of 3 p.m. Thursday, about 200 vehicles were stuck in traffic. Project manager at the Senchi Ferry, Benjamin Kilson, says drivers will be sensitized on an alternative route at Akuse in a bid to reduce the traffic there. Gifty Ando Apia has more.
This was the traffic build-up we met on our way to Senchi. Impatient drivers stuck their heads and got off their steering wheels to breathe in fresh air, as well as stretch out their feet as passengers got stuck. As we gradually approached the toll booth, the traffic began to make sense. It was a slow movement of vehicles, as each barge to be taken on board had to wait for the snail-paced ferries. The two ferries, the Senchi and Akrade, have become the most preferred route to cross the Volta River, but it appears there is much more pressure than it can bear. Like many other drivers, Ramsey told us how this affects livelihoods of both commercial and non-commercial drivers.
The traffic here is very bad. They have to do something with it. It's very bad. And if because of the Easter festivity, if we have 2.2, I think it should go faster than this. If this thing will continue for 2 years, as they are saying, no, it's a hell. Okay, frustrating, stress. Okay, you find it very difficult if you are from Volta region traveling home if something happened.
Madam, it's too terrible. You see, at least governments have to do something about it, because we are suffering. Because see, who I'm going to Ho, and for Ho I have to use 2.5 hours to reach Ho. But see where I am now. Affect us too much because we can't even make the 6 a day.
Others blame the timing of work at the ferry site.
We call Jebeni, we can 2 hours. We say they almost bear 5 hours. We take me down. We understand that mother. Someone shas in them 6 o'clock now. And upon 6 o'clock. To be delighted. So about 1 month about there's all speed. Wrong. And yeah, too much. I'm higher. Man, almost shas in them. Traffic on yes, almost shas in them. Almost shas in them. Without quarrel. I'm much better 5. No, shas here.
But the project manager, Benjamin Kilson, says the drivers are not making use of an alternative route provided.
I don't understand why the pickups and then saloon vehicles and the cross-country vehicles are not using the Akuse dam site. You know, that one has been arranged down for them to use it as an alternative route to Volta region, so to speak. So I don't know why they are not using it. I don't know why. But the DC himself has been using the public announce system to announce to the traveling public and then the drivers as well. So I don't understand why they are still not using it.
On the timing of their work, which some of the drivers have blamed for the delay, he said more persons would have to be employed since there is currently only one crew.
We are not using the 6 to 6 any longer.
Okay.
We close as and when traffic is available. I mean, there's traffic still. For instance, yesterday we closed here around 10:30 when we saw that one side of the traffic was none, but the other side was. But you know, we are running only one crew for now. We will soon be doing the shifting system where we can work longer. So, but for now, we work at times up to 9:30, 10:30, thereabouts. We come here at 5. See, but checking the levels and gauges on the engines keep us delay our time until 6.
The ferry is now full and about to leave, and Mr. Kilson here tells me that there has been alternative routes, but it seems that the message has really not gone down well, and so a lot of people are not aware of these alternative routes. He's mentioned that they will intensify education. At about 3:45 p.m. on our way back, there had been no improvement in the traffic situation as we attempted a head count of the vehicles stuck. Kiptian Rapia, Joynews.
And still, as Saint as Christians commemorate the death of Christ, many have had to travel miles to visit friends and family across the country. Most of those who are headed towards Volta region and other regions it connects to were stranded Thursday at the Saint Ferry site. Although some expressed regret at taking the journey through Saint, they also anticipated the purpose of their travel will prove worthwhile.
As drivers had the chance to stretch out, the passengers were stuck in the buses and could only contend with heat and the stuffy nature of the fully packed buses in which they were traveling. But not all of them could stand the heat, so they all walked to the entrance of the ferry to wait. Those traveling were many indeed, as they dragged along their belongings as well as their family members. As and when the pontoon is open for those on board to knock off, dozen others waiting rushed on. Whilst an almost equal half told me they were visiting family on the other side, the other half said they were transiting through the Volta region for Easter conventions.
We are going to Nyamanyama. In fact, Nyamanyama is at northern region where Tamale, that's area.
That's a very long way ahead of you.
Yes.
How long have you been here?
About 2 hours now. And our lorry is so far, so we just walk. Somebody was just saying that they came here around 9 o'clock and they are still, their vehicle is still in the line. So I don't know what about us.
We are going to convention at Bimbila site, and we are almost 3 hours now, and our car is back there. The queue is not moving fast, so the queue is long. It's too long. We are going long journey from here north, so we're supposed to reach there at least 6 in the evening. By this time we are still here.
Officials at the ferry site said although it was an anticipated problem because of the Easter festivities, not much can be done about the situation if the route continues to be the driver's choice.
You know, this is an occasion. Occasion like this, you would expect to see a heavy traffic. But the only alternative route that I know is the Akuse Dam site route. Yeah. So apart from that, you have to go and pass through Sugakope. And I think people think that it is long. So this is the only alternative route that maybe they can use.
It's been tens of Easter revelers and people going on conventions stuck here at the Saint Ferry site because traffic is not flowing. Information reaching me has also indicated that one of the pontoons happens to be much slower, hence the traffic. Kiptian Rapia, Joynews, Saint.
And the Rich Hospital here in Accra between midnight and 1 p.m. recorded 13 deliveries Easter Friday, Good Friday, with 17 more waiting to be delivered of their babies. With inadequate space, most expectant mothers in labor perched on benches waiting to be transferred to labor ward. Atani has more.
At the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the labor ward as at 12 midday had recorded 12 deliveries, 6 males and 6 females. 7 of the deliveries were through cesarean section and 5 were normal births.
I love you, you love me. Hey, what's friend, baby little girl, don't cry. Oh, come and Joe. You'll be fine, okay?
36-year-old Ifia had a baby girl at about 12:15 Friday, and she expresses her joy.
And a Good Friday. So how do you feel?
Because now we go private. And me bleedy. So almost bedroom my wall and the cost no bed said 2005 echo. And I'm making say they been almost the me back Kolebu. There's a better operation because then I'm bleeding in the corner. But I don't do how much almost see and she my operation anchor make no need that so I'm basso and casa my wife and my family. I see me Daniel Coupon and send me Kolebu for my idea casa.
Oh, bye bye. Mommy will call you at now, okay?
A long queue greeted the news team at the labor ward of the Rich Hospital on Good Friday. The labor ward between 12 a.m. and 1 p.m. had recorded 13 deliveries. Out of the 13 deliveries, 11 were normal births and 3 were through cesarean section.
No baby boy. It's my fees. Many aji me brain mo ba many aji. We do our best. We do our best 4:30. It's about 10:30 more than dinner. Mau. Easy.
First time.
The pacho debi. Ma water baba kofi. He say two na.
The ward was packed with 10 expectant mothers and 7 waiting on benches to be given birth. The midwife on duty complained of inadequate beds to admit women in labor.
You know, Rich Hospital is a referral center, so most of the small polyclinics, they refer their cases here. So at a time like this, the place is very busy. So the problem we are facing here is, you know, our labor ward is very small, and we have only 10 beds. So as you see, those mothers sitting there, there is no bed. We are supposed to give them beds, but because the beds are not sufficient, they have to sit down here. Unless those inside delivers before, we can also send those in the bench inside. Oh, we are appealing to the government to build a new maternity block for Rich Hospital. I've seen they are now making provision for that, so I think they will do it.
The accident center of the hospital had recorded 17 accident cases with 7 fatalities. At the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, however, 17 accident cases were recorded at the accident center with no recorded fatalities.
And Easter is the most religious day of the year to most Christians. It's the day Jesus arose from the dead. It's a festive holiday with spring colors, Easter eggs, flowers and bunnies. There are some very interesting correlations, but what really do you know about the do's and don'ts of Easter? Maranturi has been finding out.
Easter has been celebrated annually for centuries, and for many it's a period of reflection. It is a time to think about the ultimate sacrifice made by Jesus Christ, which was to be crucified to atone for the sins of men. The period is heralded by a set of religious activities, which includes fasting and prayers. Its climax, however, does not entail so much celebration as is evident during Christmas. In the Western world, the Easter bunny and eggs, a symbol of rebirth, are used. In the early days, eggs were wrapped in gold leaf or colored by boiling them with petals and setting flowers. Interestingly, there are some do's and don'ts that come with the celebration of Easter. I set out to find out how Christ's resurrection corresponds with Easter, and also if you know about the do's and don'ts of the celebration. And this is what some of you had to say.
Some of the things that we shouldn't do during Easter. Easter is a time to reflect, okay, on what Christ did for us. Okay, as humans, you know, we fell, and then Jesus Christ came, oh God, and then what? Redeemed us. Now, it is important that we acknowledge that fact, and then we do what? We try to live accordingly, okay? We live for Christ, and then it's not a time for us to go out there and then go and do whatever that we think is right in our eyes.
We usually don't do anything. We don't do much of celebration. Like, we just stay home, stay cool, because we know Jesus Christ came to die. So we stay cool and then rather do the celebration and all the enjoying on Sundays.
Easter is not meant for going around and drinking and make unnecessary things. Easter is for the repentance, the period where Christ died and resurrected for our sins. So any activity that you find yourself doing should fall within the ambit of the purpose for which Christ died. Anything short, apart from that, I don't think you are on the track.
As with other Christian holiday, Easter extends beyond the church. Even for people without a normal faith, Easter and Christmas are celebrated. All in all, Easter is a time of celebrating the resurrection of Christ, who died to atone for our sins. Marian Toure, Joynews, Accra.
You're watching the Primetime News on Joy. My name is Stephen Anti. You're also watching us live on ABN London. We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us. Welcome back. My name is Stephen Anti, and the Sanerugu District Assembly is stepping up efforts to improve sanitation and end open defecation in schools in the district. District Chief Executive Al-Hassan Mohammed Surugodo said this when he commissioned a 20-seater toilet at Tamale Senior High School. The facility, which cost 81,000 Ghana cedis, will improve sanitation and sustain environmental conditions in the school and eventually end open defecation there.
Al-Hassan Mohammed Surugudu also said the facility forms part of measures the Assembly is taking to improve sanitation in schools and end a system where some students defecate openly in bushes in the school.
Development is a process. It's a process in the sense that for us as human beings, it is not possible for us to touch each and every area within a year to provide them with their needs. It has a starting point, and the process continues.
He used the occasion to enumerate major developmental projects the district has executed for the school. The headmaster of the school, Alhaji T.A. Mahama, lauded the district for its numerous social interventions towards the development of the school.
I wish to stress that this is a big relief to the school. It is a facility that is urgently needed by the school, and I believe by providing that you have given us a big relief. I am convinced that it will enhance the elimination of open defecation, it will improve sanitation, and ultimately promote teaching and learning in the school.
Meanwhile, in a related development, the District Assembly has also presented another 20-seater toilet facility to residents of Katariga in the district. Until the commissioning of the 20-seater toilet facility in the community, residents resorted to open defecation in bushes and forest zones in the area.
Dozens of graduates at the whole School of Hygiene took to the streets to demonstrate against what they say is government's failure to get them posted 3 years after graduation. Wielding placards through the principal streets of Hull, they threatened to continue with their demonstration against government until something urgent is done about their situation.
Presenting a petition to the Volta Regional Minister on behalf of his colleagues, Anthony Kudiabo said they are still at home doing nothing. despite graduating 3 years ago. Appealing to President John Mahama through the Volta regional minister, they asked the president to use his good office to grant them immediate posting of all past students from the school and review policy on the posting of subsequent students that will pass out from the school.
Our teachers and parents are actually mourning as we do not know our fate. Nevertheless, the general public is also mourning as environmental health problems and poor sanitation are on the increase in the country due to inadequate environmental health officers in the field. Currently, the country's population stands at 24 million, and there are about 3,534 environmental health officers in the country, giving the environmental health officer population ratio of 1:6,791. This clearly falls below the World Health Organization standard of 1:500 and creates a deficit of 44,466 professionals in the sector.
Receiving the petition on behalf of the president, Volta Regional Minister Helen Adjuantoso told the demonstrators they will hear from government very soon.
Thank you very much. We're going to look at your petition and then we'll add a covering letter to it. We'll send it to the president. I don't know whether you've had the opportunity, the leadership, you have the opportunity of meeting with it. No? Yes? Have you had the opportunity?
It's in the letter. No, if the letter.
You don't know whether it's gotten to you, but trust me, we'll add a covering letter, covering note to this one, and I will take it personally to the president.
Thank you, Honorable.
So trust me, something will be done about it.
The whole School of Hygiene was established in June 1975 to train students in environmental science. Komlado filed this report from Ko in the Volta region for Joynews.
And communities along the coastal belt of the central region hit by a heavy rainstorm a week ago continue to sleep in schools and churches. The heavy downpour, accompanied by strong winds, ripped off roofs of buildings and flattened a lot of structures, including school buildings.
Schools in the community have been operating in makeshift structures to enable pupils write their basic school exams. Affected victims rendered homeless are still camped in schools and churches, waiting for some assistance from the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO. MP for Ekumfi, Abeku Krensel, told Joynews some of the communities in his constituency have virtually lost everything.
And indeed, though we are waiting for NADMO, but we cannot sit there to wait for NADMO to respond. Almost half of the community are sleeping in the classroom. They are running shifts with the churches and other infrastructures, other structures within the area, which is not the best.
Global Brigade, a non-governmental organization touched by the plight of the affected communities, donated roofing sheets, food and other relief items valued at 12,000 Ghana cedis to the victims. Executive Director of Global Brigades Ghana, Ishmael Nana Samwa, promised to provide some medical services to the affected communities to avert a possible outbreak of an epidemic. Meanwhile, victims of the rainstorm are still appealing to the National Disaster Management Organization to come to their aid as soon as possible. Richard Kudunyaku filed this report from Cape Coast.
And Asante Otumfo stated to the second has advised members of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to come up with plans and strategies for the development of the metropolis. Otumfo says the assembly members were elected to serve the people in their respective areas, and so they should push the agenda of the people at the assembly. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has the rest of the story.
The 142 assembly members, with the Kumasi Metropolitan Mayor, the presiding officer and some other personalities, paid a courtesy call on the Asante Hene. Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly boss Kojo Bonsu told the Asante the construction of unauthorized buildings in the metropolis is a worrying development. He called on Otumfuo to help the Assembly with the implementation of its development agenda. Asokore Mamponghene, Nana Boachi Ansa Deborah, and Chief Priest Nana Asabre Ababio raised some critical issues and asked the Assembly to address them. Asokore Mamponghene lamented over poor construction works which is costing the Metropolitan Assembly. Nana Ansa Deborah advised the Assembly to urgently secure legal documents for all its lands to avoid future uncertainty. Chief Priest Nana Asabre Ababio also raised similar issues. He however asked the Assembly to look into the issue of road blocking for celebrations. Otumfuo Osei the second reminded the Assembly about the need for trust among members towards effective development. He spoke against the practice of some Assembly members misappropriating funds meant for their respective areas. Disposal of waste in the metropolis could soon be moved to another level, as the Asante says he is in talks with Zoom Lion to place dustbins in the frontage of homes to collect refuse. He hinted of another meeting with Assembly and the Asante Man Council to further discuss issues of the metropolis. The mayor of Kumasi, Kojo Bonsu, lauded the advice of Otumfuo. The presiding officer, Nana Kofu-Senya, on behalf of the Assembly, commended the Asante King for his tireless efforts in bringing development to the metropolis and the country at large.
And shopping for the Easter season is rather low as shoppers contend prices of goods have shot up considerably. Traders also say they are not making as much sales as they have had in previous Easter celebrations.
Atmosphere in some markets in the capital on Good Friday was a rather quiet one. The very few shoppers who trooped into the market to shop for Easter were frustrated over high prices. Traders who had come to make some good sales in spite of the holidays were left disappointed. They contend there are no buyers for their goods this season.
Last year Nene de me hoshe so. Yen to ada so ne ha yen pa ne se sraban petrol to mu na draw so ma yen dodo. Ya to petrol ma na affect bibia enti ya sra no hiafo na e organ ho ye mobo.
Ene yi say edwa yen kokura no se betamala tadwom ha dindin. Obi nko obi ma. Enti ya se rade sa afia ebeba no. On mo yen na edwa ne sisa ma yen.
Others, however, were having a good day.
Good Friday, me buy Atani Delali Emmanuel. Me see many aje. Atama me are chanyumre. Me ko Easter okwo. Easter no mu dijam kwa me ho yira me pesa me ko Easter. Atani Delali Emmanuel. Pe ne kakra ntina me si hu. Ya to ya me kokwo.
Majority of traders may be having poor sales, but the Easter season is far from over, and so they are hopeful for a boom in business. Abigail Admakwenchi for Joynews.
And drivers at the New Plan and VIP stations in Accra say they're recording low passenger turnouts for the Easter celebrations because of increase in fares. But the passengers also say the discomfort they experience, especially while traveling in the Ford buses, make them opt for more comfortable alternatives. Matilda Nyakwa Kweku has more.
At the New Plan station, most of the buses had few passengers, most of whom had been waiting for more than 3 hours for a full bus before they could depart. Kwame Adumako is a driver who has worked at the New Plan station for more than 10 years.
People don't have money to patronize, and more or less this year petrol has been increased 4 good times. So the more petrol is increased, the price of fares go higher. So therefore people cannot even patronize to pay. Because last year, for instance, even before the car enters the main gate, people are yearning to get the cars. But now you can see the cars lying everywhere. Drivers, passengers, everybody stranded. You see. So therefore, it makes boys sabre into amagese kasabebre.
Man BK also shares his frustrations.
Ebu 3 days 4 days nenya bi nkoye. Daba for nusu. Petrol wire din, petrol boy din. Nyama nkoye ise. Koye kura. Before no. Nanka Ford we baba na bi ni ha ne asala tenten. No open station baba na kan ya. Cargo car na necessary on the omko. Say the con car some woman adumanye. Tinyama nkoyi ankasa.
One of the passengers at the Ford station said although traveling has become uncomfortable because of rising fares, what is even more worrying is the discomfort of sharing passenger space with different luggages.
They should get one for those who want to take goods to their relatives outside Accra, so that the people who want to go to Accra get a full car without these things around us. We don't feel comfortable. Mostly do not belongs to us. Some are for others. They are not in the car. They are sending it to their relatives in Kumasi. So we are going along with it. It is not our own. That's the problem.
Stephen Asari had a totally different reason for traveling on a Good Friday.
But I'm not feeling fine in my life. I went to the hospital and I've seen the treatment, and doctor asked me to come back within 1 week time to express myself whether I'm healed or I'm still in it. So I'm going to relax. I've seek permission from the school. So I'm going to the house. But since the Good Friday is with me today, I thank God. I thank God.
At the VIP station, although some of the passengers were seen traveling to Kumasi, Asiedu Mensah, who is a road safety officer, said there has been a low turnout during this year's Easter travels.
A clean environment is one of the requirements to achieving the Millennium Development Goals. This makes the issue of dealing with filth an important aspect of any sanitation campaign. For residents of Tema Newtown, the poor sanitation in the community is making life very uncomfortable as residents blame city authorities for doing nothing about the situation, the sanitation problem, especially along the coast. As part of the Easter celebrations, Showbiz took to town to find out from people how they observed the day.
How are you celebrating your Easter? Well, this is what I intend to find out from people here at the Kolegono Beach.
Typical of holidays, the beach has over the years served as a point where people from all walks of life gather to have fun. And this year's Good Friday saw the usual activity happening. Both Kolegono and La beaches were filled with lots of revelers. Some of the patrons shared with the Showbiz team why they chose to be at the beach on a Good Friday.
The holidays, you know, everyone knows that it's Good Friday, and you know it's an holiday, it's a big holiday. So, like right now for me, the beach is a place I see like you can have your own good, like you can live freely and enjoy, swim and do everything here. So the holidays I think is quite cool, and I'm having a good time with it.
Coming all the way from Congo and Cote d'Ivoire, I have with me
Claire, Mariam.
How are you guys celebrating the Easter, the holidays here in Ghana?
Fine. You see plenty people on the beach. Fine, very fine. Okay.
What about you?
Everything is cool. I like the day.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's like I look after all these games here, and after that I have to go home and maybe have rest of myself, because always I have to be at work and know the good and the bad or whatever.
Gone are the days when on a Good Friday people will don their black attires and go to church to commemorate the death of Christ. These days there are alternatives, and the beach is just one of it.
That's all for Showbiz. Before we go, our major headlines again. Police urges all Ghanaians, especially those traveling for the Easter festivities, to be moderate in their celebrations. And expectant mothers at a rich hospital defy the odds of bed shortage, and as the hospital records 13 new deliveries on Good Friday. Asante Delali to the second advises assembly members in Kumasi to come up with innovative solutions to the problems of the metropolis. And on the international front, Algeria's 77-year-old president Abdelaziz Bouteflika has won a fourth term. He had more than 81% of the vote. That's it for the news. My name is Stephen Enti, and for more news you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Good evening.